like a mountain journal. Seen a lot of sheriffs lately. They are some badass looking guys. Types of dudes you don't want to fuck with. But they also seem like they're decent people. Not just the police here have always been so good, and they're regular people the way it should be. Because the police force is supposed to fill in the gaps of what the average citizen can't do for the public's health and safety, and all that jazz. If I can enunciate. It is a beautiful day today. Just perfect weather. This is what you wait for after a long, harsh winter. And it wasn't even that harsh. It was just either unbelievably windy. Either just ridiculously windy or snowing. There was snow in between, really. Could not form a pattern, consistency. This fucking cord. Charge, you bitch. And I know Estes had some drug issues a while back. And there was like some gang or something that showed up and like a meth industry's trying to form here. Seems like that's gone. Everybody's back the way they should be. But you still get the judgmental old women. Yeah, that's fine. I like the diversity of the mind. Like, people don't all have to like me. I don't care. If anything, it's the flavor of life. But it is a bit insulting when I'm just walking down an aisle to look at the frozen section and decide if I actually do want to purchase these enchiladas today. And a woman visibly is concerned about me, and she has her purse in her cart, and so I can tell that she thinks, cause she just like scurried past me and then ran off as if I was gonna try to rob her or something. So you still get those types of women here. Majority of them are just little nice old ladies that have been here for a long time, and they don't objectify people. And then you get the few like that. I remember in Golden walking down the sidewalk after going up the canyon path and going back to the apartment, and this just like old lady with, wearing like clothes that you can tell are just way too superficial. And she had her hand in her purse, like, after she saw me approaching. Like, what am I gonna do to you? In the middle of the day, for one thing. Like, why would I attack a little old lady? So you always have to put up with that when you look like me. But that's what it is. It's because people like me don't really exist anymore. And hopefully I'm not going extinct, but the way Colorado's been changing, just there might not be any mountain men left. And I always wanted this. And finally get to enjoy it. And it's really awesome to be alone up here. It feels like you own the mountain. Like, it's It just feels like this is your mountain. It's really nice. Hopefully, though, yesterday saw some people parked off to the side of the road, walking up a plot, so maybe they're gonna buy it. And God, I just get here. Do I really have to listen to that construction? They had two kids. Like they don't realize like how difficult it is actually to be up here. And if they got two kids, they're gonna use too much water, and they aren't gonna, because they gotta, like, they're the type of people that wash their vehicle. I know that's a bit strange, but like nature washes my car for me. I don't go to a car wash. Cut my hand on my axe. You can see that. Nasty. That's how sharp it is. Just all I was doing was oiling it, putting on some linseed oil, and lightly sanding it, and just barely touched it, and just cut the shit out of me. It's a really good steel. Decided to burn the end, seal the end, just carbon sealing. That's why you do that. Might have to redo it. It's like I didn't get it all perfectly, but this thing is awesome. It's the type of tool you look forward to using. It's going out and having an excuse to swing it. It is so sharp. It just, man. I just barely touched it. Sliced my damn finger open, almost. So you gotta be careful. It always seems like when I over sharpen a knife or some sort of blade or edge, that's when I do cut myself. Like, it can be dull, and I won't ever touch the damn thing. It's only when I get it razor sharp that I end up cutting myself and touching the edge. I don't know why. I remember working at Pizza Hut once. I was cutting vegetables, and I slipped with the knife, and the knife cut my finger, but it didn't cut the plastic glove that I was wearing. That was crazy. No idea how that happens or what, but somehow it didn't cut the thin, like, plastic glove or whatever they have you wear, and still cut my finger. Brats were on sale, so I'm gonna grill. It's a perfect day for grilling with a light breeze. It's supposed to warm up today. It's 48 right now, but it feels a bit warmer than that. It feels more like 58, 60. Should fix the pipe. I have to tolerate a family visit. Barely get out of the winter. Barely get to find some solidarity, some resolve, and now I have to deal with the objectifications of a manic lunatic. That is not as good as Dr. Pepper. Dr. Dynamite. What else? My mother thinks I'm gonna be killed by a rattlesnake. I think I can't handle a snake. I'm way too aware of my surroundings. the chance that a snake would get me, let alone the fact that I have 8-inch tall boots. Like, I wear leather gloves all the time. It's just ridiculous. Whatever. That's what it is. So hopefully tomorrow we'll have a pleasant visit rather than a jumbled up psychotic mess. I miss good cheap whiskey. Like, this isn't bad, but any whiskey with natural flavors tends to... A mouse? Another fucking mouse. Tends to make you kind of weird feeling. Not a clear euphoria like it should be. Maybe I'll go chop some wood while I grill. And what else? Just tired. Need to finish moving my stuff. Maybe I can catch this one. One trick for live catching is using a potato chip bag. You set it at an angle and so that they can get into it, but it'll be oily, and so they slide down and they can't get traction. And it's a loud noise too, so it alerts you that there's a mouse trapped in a potato chip bag. Little bastard. Mice are fearless, I'll give them that. Turkey was on sale. I need a lot of protein right now, so I'm gonna make some mac and cheese with turkey. It's 98% too, so back down to what the price should be at $4.50. So that wasn't a bad deal. I'm so hungry after moving those logs up that hill. What else to do? Need to clean a bit. You are what? Gatekeeping beings. What? Ugh. People just don't understand. I don't know, some Reddit about suicide. I have a lot of respect for people that have the strength to actually choose to end their life. That's your body, and you know, some like I don't want to live to be 80 years old. Why? What's this idea that I have to be long? I have to live as long as possible. Like my youth is past. I don't get to have a family. I'm like, do you really think that your opinions, your emotions, are an obligation for me? It it's just ridiculous how naive society has become. Like I get that people who do commit suicide, there's two types. There's ones that ask for help. Those are the people that either need attention or they have a mental illness. The real suicidal people won't fucking tell anybody. They'll make their choice. Like they don't want help. They making a choice consciously to end their life. And you know, is your gatekeeping? What does that even mean? Gate act of controlling, restricting, or filtering access to information, knowledge, or community membership. Yeah, see. Help convince people that are thinking about seeking help to not do so, and then potentially die as a result. No. People who seek help either want attention or they have a mental illness. That's different. Like, life isn't that great. Plain and simple. And it only gets worse and worse and worse. People that actually can make that choice, because I know how tough it is. And it's not an easy thing to do. And it's like your emotions and opinions about me are not an obligation to sustain a life that like you have no solutions. You're never going to have solutions for that person. You can't fix people. You drug them into this psychosis of life like that it's so much better than it actually is. No, it we all die inevitably. Like that's the truth of life. It's something that you're gonna have to face one day either way. And I think that the ability to choose is your own freedom and liberty and right. I'm not advocating it, obviously, but you know, there are two things in life that are free. And that is the freest form of liberty is the freedom to hate. And then also being able to choose how your life ends. Because death is free. It's gonna come anyway. Like, it's what it is, you know? And it's not like I'm not a narcissist and I'm not a sociopath and I'm not a psychopath, so like I don't think that I have the right to tell you how you should choose. It's just that if you want to stick around okay. But if you want to end it, I will respect your choice. That's all it is. It's not like I'm not an advocate. It's just people don't understand the complexity of it. They're all afraid. They're running from the truth. And if you don't address it early on, then it becomes ever more emotionally and destabilizing. Emotionally destabilizing. That you. I should probably put this in that axe handle. It's Black House Heighten. It's cool. I don't have my Dremel though. How can I do it? It would be tough to get this fit perfectly. People are so dumb these days. Like, in summary, to everyone, they just assume that they're right. And if they can't be right, then they try to get you banned. Which is no different than murder. It's like digital murder. They pretend to have this humility and ethics, but then they'll get somebody banned. It's no different than never talking to somebody ever again. Like, it's your suicidal thoughts are real suicidal thoughts. Your depression is real, despite how. No, uh, I'm not that dumb. I'm not afraid to admit that I did try to shoot myself, and it wasn't because of sadness. It was because I was just so tired of everything. Just don't want to put up with it anymore. Like, it's like I have a rule of thumb that if you're going to end your life, it has to be a conscious choice, and you should feel absolutely nothing when you do it. That tells you that that is a conscious choice. And so, people that cry before they try, those are the people subconsciously desiring help. Like, those people shouldn't do it. It's the people that you're just there and you're like I can't rationalize why I would say no. It no matter how much you think about it. And when I tried, I left my gun loaded, and my bullet was magically gone from my chamber on my 1911. And all I remember is just feeling a shudder in my body. And there's another rule of thumb too, if you are considering ending your life, is ask yourself, I can do anything right now because it won't matter tomorrow because I'll be gone. If I can do anything right now, what would it be? If you can't answer that question, if there's nothing left for you to want to do, then there's no point in living. You're not alive. You're in this prison of existence. And that's why people make the choice. It shouldn't be sadness. It shouldn't be depression. It's different. It's more complex. It's just resolution. Because people are going to make choices over your life anyway. Like, I was living at that apartment, and this lady comes in. She's, decided to get rid of me. It's just business. My life is your business. Like, do you know how she brought a big fucking guy too, like 6 inches taller than me. I'm like, you realize I have a Colt 45, like literally 6 inches away from my hand if I have to defend myself. Your big man right there is nothing. Then she had the audacity to try and buy one of my paintings. Oh, God, I would toss that bitch into a volcano. sacrifice her to the gods. And then people have this nerve to pretend that life is worth sustaining when you have people like this around you. It's just like, there was a study done on intellects that are like why society is dumbing down further and further is because the intellects aren't having children, and we consciously make this choice to end our bloodlines because we understand that, you know, with happiness comes naivety, and like, that's why intellects don't value money. Once you get to a certain IQ level, like, you stop valuing money. I can't understand it. I can't appreciate money. I hate using it, but I know its purpose is for the freedom of choice so that we can each make choices on how we spend our lives. It's the same thing. It's the same concept. It's just all a metaphor for life and death. Like, it's all it is. Money is an expense of time. We translate time into this fiscal creation and fabrication, all to spend it, and that time is gone. Just like that moment, and this moment, and the next moment is constantly flowing through. And we are in this psychosis, this, what do I call this, Stockholm effect, that we have to survive, to maintain life. We are in a Stockholm affect, similar to Stockholm syndrome, but because we make these choices that we can't change, we are held prisoner by them. So we have to rationalize our choices as positive. Otherwise, we become self-destructive. And so when people end their own life too, it helps remove that from society. And that's another reason why I have so much respect for that choice. Like, I can't do it. Like, I could have just chambered my gun again, but I wasn't strong enough. I had to set myself up for it, and, you know, forget that I had a bullet in there, and train myself into it because it is such a difficult thing to do. And I just, I'm just, but look at where I'm at now. Would it matter though? Would the difference matter? I could have been a martyr. Maybe I would have helped change that apartment complex and those shitty fucking taints of society that we call landlords. They're horrible people. The only thing worse is a profiteer of life and death, and those are doctors. And we are held at mercy by their education. No, I am in complete control of my faculties. It's not me latching out and searching for help. It's not a mental illness. I have thoroughly analyzed it and myself, and, like, I don't want help. I don't want to be drugged. I don't want to be some profitable body for a psychologist or a psychiatrist. I don't want to be objectified by society because then now I'm drugged into a psychosis that I have this excuse. God, this spot in the back of my head is always itchy. And people just don't get it because they're too simple. They're simpletons. They're half-wits. Sorry, but that's the fucking truth of it. You're a fucking half-wit. Accept it. I accept you. Accept how intelligent I might be. To experience that complex of emotions is why we have these gigantic fucking things in our skulls. These big ass fucking brains. Okay? That's why we have them. So that we can experience these emotions. And if we lose that, it'll just be another generation and then another generation. Either we collapse or we don't. I had this one paradox, but I cannot remember it for the life of me. right there on the tip of my tongue. Of why, like, if we were to destroy ourselves and the world would be a better place, why shouldn't we? And if we were to see, I still can't grasp it. It was this weird linear paradox of rationalizing like self-destruction, but also like the value of life and death. Because if we live way too long, we experience more negative experiences. There's more negative things that happen to us than positive. And so if we were immortal, per se, we would inevitably like change into an evil being that you can't escape. That is why gods become titans. And it's all in Greek mythology and Roman mythology, but the philosophy is represented there, that the longer you live, because we can never experience pure happiness or positivity. Like, nature is constantly trying to decay positive energy and equate it. And so, that's just the value of life and death. That the more we prolong, if we don't age and we become more consistent, we earn this desire from others to end us. And so it's just this mind-boggling nonsense of people trying to preserve one another, though the longer you age, the older you get, the more negative, the more evil you become, and we can never be as innocent as we once were. Life experience teaches us that to make choices, we can't be naive to the outcome, otherwise we would erase ourselves. And what else is there? I don't know if I've talked about this. Maybe I have. It's a very controversial subject. People don't like addressing these things. To be a philosopher, you can't be capable of fearing a subject of thought. Otherwise, we lose what it means to be human slowly. What to do? It's enough to talk about suicide and death. I think I summarized it almost as well as I used to be able to. I just don't want to be drugged into a psychosis. Like, it's not my thing. I'm smarter than the doctors I've ever met. I could have something like 5 PhDs I calculated once. I would have one in physics, philosophy, math, and art study, and what's the 5th one that I've been capable of? Because I know it sounds self-indulged. It's just that I'll never forget a time that I would spend talking to this girl on Twitch, and she was pursuing a PhD, and she was a PhD candidate. So she was studying like nanocrystal light refraction, and it took me literally 30 minutes to disprove her, though I've never studied any of these theories, at least at that time. And I was explaining something called Raman scattering and how it refracts on on a molecular level, and how atmospheric density is what I call it, quantum atmospheric density. But it's just because like there is no actual electron. It's just like an entire subatomic and subquantum field of like matter right before you get into subquantum physics. The electron is an equivalent system for mass energy equivalence, and there's two states of mass. And so when you divide density by volume or volume then by density, you get two states of mass. And when you equate that, then you get the unified field model. But nobody else has ever figured that out, apparently. There's little hints in history for this, too. And I can't remember all the people's names. I just can never remember names. Anyway, so I ended up like just disproving her fucking entire like 8 years of studying in 30 minutes. It just broke her heart. I felt so bad. So I try to watch out and not do that to people anymore. And because learning's like I spent my whole life learning. I love learning. It's the best thing that we have. Like it's I mean, I would get these epiphanies in my progression, and I would have like a mental orgasm, and sometimes it would last a week. It'll get you so fucking high from figuring something out. But to get to that point is dizzying. You will get very dizzy pushing your brain. And that's why I get so many migraines. Because when I push my mind too far again, I can like stimulate it somehow. And it goes into eidetic memory, but like when I learned how to control visual eideticism, it's so you can stimulate like your brain. It's hard to explain. It sounds weird to probably normal people. That like growing up, it would make me dizzy. Like I would almost faint. I would get just like imagine drinking like a bottle of whiskey and trying to sleep. That's how dizzy you get. And when you lay down, and then your head's spinning. After a while, once you get through that, you push yourself through that, you suffer through that, you get addicted to learning. You want to learn as much as possible. It is better than sex. No sexual stimulation can ever provide what your mind is actually capable of doing. And like it's awesome. But once you then like transverse and you overcome all of these human challenges, there's nothing left. And so you're left alone in this like void of your mind that is just like sending astronauts into space, and you're looking for another planet, but there's nothing out there. And so I'm not saying that like I know everything, but there was a point where like I could talk at an exceptional level with anyone about anything and predict what they were going to say. That was awful. I couldn't talk to anybody. People online, they call me insufferable because because of that. So like I've done myself down so that I can still try to be normal and talk to people and enjoy still being here, because now I have this to experience, and I've wanted this my entire life. And so like there's no reason to end my life right now anyway, unless I get some sort of disease or something. If I get a neurological disease, or I ain't gonna let myself fall apart like that. I need my legs, I need my feet, I need to play drums. That is who I am. And so that's why, all of that is why I respect the freedom of choice over your own life. And people are just too simple. They don't comprehend the complexity of inspiring thought. Anyway, I'm gonna end this. If I could talk. My cheeks are still funny. I need to start whistling again. Maybe that'll clear up my speech impediment that's been developing.